world's wildest.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. I have a confession and an apology to issue out to our listeners. This is a education podcast.
Sure.
A nature-based, science-based podcast.
Conservation, yay.
And I tweeted something the other day that discredits my credibility as a educator.
Like climate change isn't real?
No, I didn't tweet that. I tweeted, first of all, I'm also revealing myself because I tweeted this on my alt account because I would never tweet it on my main account. Embarrassing. I tweeted on my alt account, I did not realize drinking a hot beverage when you're cold actually makes you warmer physically. I thought people just liked hot drinks because of the vibe. And I said that because I've never been a hot drink drinker. I don't like burning my mouth, so I always get iced drinks.
Right. But you grew up in a place where it doesn't get that cold,
Yes,
right?
I grew up in California.
Yeah.
So I've never like been in the cold where it's like, oh, drink. Sure. And I thought when people drink like, oh, hot chocolate in the winter, I thought it was a vibe thing. And don't get me wrong, I understand thermodynamics. I understand why this happens.
Sure.
It had never occurred to me that it was a real strat.
Oh, it's great.
For like keeping you warm.
Oh, hell yeah.
And what's funny is I definitely know about drinking cold beverages when you're hot.
Right.
So I just never flipped it over. The tweet went viral. It has 3.6 million views.
Jeez.
And I will say the quote retweets are being really mean to me. And they said they're saying really mean things about me as an educator. They don't know that I'm an educator. They have no idea who I am. But they said, open the schools. Dude, ... Stuff like this is why we need the Department of Education, and I'm so serious. I don't want to be on planet Earth anymore. People are really this dense. Wow. First of all, I have a college degree, okay, and I also have an education podcast, and I do understand why this works. I'm not actually stupid, okay? I just never thought about it. And I had a hot cup of coffee for the first time in my whole life last week, and it happened, and I was like, oh my God, I get it now.
You could drink decaf. Decaf has a little bit of caffeine in it, and you could do that every morning, and it would be amazing.
I thought decaf had no caffeine. I thought that was the whole point.
It has like a little bit, like a minuscule amount.
Oh.
But it would change your life.
Do you personally think less of me because I tweeted that out?
No. No, you're just living your life. You're having new experiences. We both have new experiences at different times. I do dumb things as well, say dumb things all the time. So it's...
So you think it's dumb? You don't get what I meant?
I do get what you meant, but it's... I'm surprised you haven't gravitated towards that sooner for like some of the ice storms in Texas when you're out like freezing your butt off. You don't come in and be like, I want something hot to help warm me up.
I just never thought about it.
And did you know hot drinks actually help you cool down in the summer?
No.
So like warm room temperature or warmer water actually cools you down more, because if you drink cold water, your body has to produce more energy to warm it up to then be able to metabolize it. So you spend more energy in the summer cooling down cold water. But cold water just tastes better. So I like to drink room temperature Red Bull because it hits immediately, because your body doesn't need to like warm it up. And I spend less energy on that, so I cool down faster.
Huh.
So no, I don't think less of you. I think it's funny. I love that you had that new experience. Congratulations. I hope you keep having more of these epiphanies in your life.
Like, I'm really happy for people that that's something that you can do, okay? I'm happy that it's not just a vibe.
Yeah.
Like, cool, good strat. Maybe I'll try it sometime. Sorry.
Soon
to everyone who's mad at me.
Soon we're going to come into the office and you're going to have a mug warmer, and you're going to have just like constant hot coffee or hot cocoa like on tap. Or hot matcha is so good. I don't know. It's so good.
Well, I don't know. Maybe my life will change, but I am sorry. I do have a Bachelor of Science, and I am the executive director of a education nonprofit.
It's not shattered.
Thank you for listening.
You might see cats walking around here. We have 2 new feral cats that we helped rescue that are going to be joining our family. So we're going to have 5 cats total here in the tree house. And yeah, you'll see them walking around. They just came in like
an hour
ago. We have Sullivan, which is the white cat, and then We have a much smaller black cat. That's not Claire. That's Betsy. And they were from a TNR colony.
It is their first day here. They literally got here like an hour ago.
Yeah. So they're doing well. They're calming down. They're exploring the area. So you'll see them around a little bit. And he's poking out right in front of you, so don't move the chair too much.
Okay. So there are cats. Audio listeners, you are missing out on the cats. Apologies.
They're very cute.
But thank you for listening on your audio platforms. Thank you for liking and subscribing on the YouTube channel and commenting. That really helps us a lot.
Big time.
And thank you for checking out our Patreon if you haven't already. We're having a great time with this podcast.
It's a great ad-free over at Patreon. And today we're talking about World's Hungriest.
World's Hungriest. This one was also a viewer suggestion. You guys have the best topic suggestions ever. My first animal to talk about for World's Hungriest is surprising, hummingbirds.
So cool.
Surprising because they're small.
They're so small. I got a hummingbird mask for Christmas when I was a kid. And in Georgia, I would go sit out on our deck with the hummingbird mask with the feeder.
Oh my gosh.
And just sit super still and have them come up to me and drink from me. It was the best thing ever.
There are about 340 species of hummingbirds, all in the New World. They weigh anywhere from 2 to 20 grams.
By the way, did you know a paperclip is 1 gram?
No.
So now that's how you can...
2 paper clips.
2 paper clips.
The smallest bird in the world is a bee hummingbird. We'll pull it up. 2 grams.
That's so small.
It is a picture of a guy, or I don't know, a person with their hand spread out, and the hummingbird is perched in between their middle finger and ring finger. It's that small. Beautiful,
like reddish orange, like metal looking, throat.
Amazing. So cool. And their nests are like equally as small. Just bizarre. This is a hummingbird nest. It has a key on top of it, and the key doesn't fit. Like the key is bigger than the nest itself, like a house key, a normal house key. And the eggs are like, I don't even know. What is that? Like a fat grain of rice? A Tic Tac. Yeah. The eggs are like Tic Tac sized.
And the crazy thing is people put cams on these. Like they find them in their yards and they'll put cams and live stream it.
That's so cool.
Really cool.
Hummingbirds are the hungriest bird in the world, despite their size. They have to eat 2 times their body weight every day.
That's crazy.
2 times their body weight every day in nectar. I would have to eat 200 pounds of food a day. Are you kidding me?
That's so much food.
That's insane.
And they have to drink all of that and keep moving at the same time. Yeah.
Yes. Also crazy, if they don't eat 2 times their body weight every day, they will die.
Yep.
Like they'll just die.
That's crazy.
Yep. If they don't have flowers to feed on, they will starve to death in 2 hours. Like they are just constantly, they're constantly moving. So humans would have to eat like 300 hamburgers a day.
That's a lot of hamburgers
to keep up with them. So why? Like, why do they have to eat so much? Because the way that they fly, like you were just saying, is so expensive. They hover their wing beats. They do 80 wing beats a second.
I can't even count that fast.
80 every second.
It's insane. The like in Dune, the movie Dune, they have those like hummingbird, dragonfly-esque looking copters. And just imagining that in real life from hummingbirds is insane. 80 per second. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's like what they modeled them off of. Yeah. They're really cool. The way that they fly is really cool. They don't flap their wings like normal birds. They move their wings in a figure-8 motion. We have a video. I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, it's so cool. If you watch it in slow motion, you can see it. So instead of like flapping up and down, their wings are going in a figure-8, and that allows them to hover in place. It also allows them to fly backwards. They're the only birds that can fly backwards. Here's the video now. Look at that. See? That is a cool figure-8. Okay. Audio listeners, imagine based on my sound effects what it looks like. I love it when they like buzz past you. Yeah. Zoom. It sounds like a little mini drone. Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, so see that figure-8 motion? Isn't that crazy? They can just like rotate in ways that other birds can't. So they're the only birds that can fly backwards. A ruby-throated hummingbird, because this form of flying is so much work, their heartbeat, you know what average human resting heart rate is? 80? 60 to 100, yeah. Okay. Guess what a hummingbird's heartbeat is? 169. 225 to 1200. That's such a huge range. 225 to 1200 times per minute while flying. I can't count that. 1200 per minute.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it.
Yeah.
That is so fast.
Yeah. So they're doing like 10 times our resting heart rate.
How long do they live for?
I don't know. I don't have a lifespan on them. They have the highest metabolic rates of all vertebrates during the day, which just means that the amount of energy that they use over time.
3 to 5 years.
Mm.
Bee hummingbirds live 7 to 10. That's crazy. That their body can go for that long.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Impeccable.
Well, one of the ways that they are able to live, or that they're able to like survive, even though they're doing so much work, is they go into torpor at night.
Oh,
I didn't know that. Torpor is like a stage where metabolic functions are slowed and their body temperature is lowered. If torpor, but it's like short periods of time. If torpor happened for a long period of time, it would be hibernation.
right.
Like it's the same vibe, if you will, as hibernation. So they go into torpor at night, so into this like resting state, and then they get back up in the morning and they're 1,200 beats a minute.
That's insane.
Heart rate, 80 wing beats a second, and they go crazy. They do feed on nectar. I didn't know this. Occasionally they feed on flying insects during the mating season. Yeah, and they feed them to their nestlings.
Oh, cool.
And also sometimes sap. Their tongues are really cool. You might be wondering how a little bird can get so much like nectar. It seems so hard to harvest, especially when you're that small. How are they getting so much of it? Because their tongues are insanely specialized and so cool.
They need what, at least like for the smallest ones, they need 4 grams of nectar, right? For the 2-gram birds.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
nectar. That's so much.
For such a small bird with a tiny tongue.
Yeah, and flowers have such a small amount in that. They're just like constantly moving. So we're going to pull up a video of what their tongue looks like. Granted, this is like, I don't know how realistic this video is. It like shows the concept. I don't know if it's actually like what it looks like. It's just a rendering. But essentially, you can play it. So the tongue starts out as one straight piece. Kind of looks like a straw, but it's like just like a straight tongue, right?
Okay.
And they flatten the tongue out. And then when it hits nectar, that's nectar, it will split into 2.
Oh.
So their tongue is forked like a snake.
I was always wondering, because they always look weird.
And each side of the tongue has grooves that trap nectar via elastic energy. So when it hits the nectar, those grooves open up and traps the nectar in it. And then they suck it back into their mouth. They trap the nectar in the 2 sides of their tongue and bring it back into their mouth.
That's cool. It's like they're literally like the helicopters that we see grabbing water out of like the ocean for the California fires. Their tongues like do the same thing almost.
Yeah. They used to think that their tongues worked with like capillary action. So the way, if you put a straw in a cup of water and the water moves up the straw without suction, they thought that their tongues worked like that, but they don't. They work more like a pump. Yeah. Like a micro pump. So they like hold all of this energy in their tongue because it's flattened, and when it hits the nectar, it rapidly expands. And so that's what sucks up the nectar into it, and it's way more effective than capillary action.
And they do it like really fast.
So fast. So fast. So yeah, that's really cool. That's how they get all their food. They're also really important as pollinators because they go from flower to flower drinking nectar. So they're transporting pollen, which is how flowers and plants reproduce. So that's very important. And shout out, if you want to help protect hummingbirds, you can drink shade-grown coffee. Oh. Shade-grown coffee is coffee trees that are grown under other trees, so that there's a bunch of there's way more diversity in plants and stuff, and that helps support wildlife, including hummingbirds, so that we don't have a coffee monocrop. This is the label for what to look for bird-friendly coffee. You can find this in the grocery store. Yeah. Oh. There's a bird-friendly coffee label, like a food label that you can find on coffee packages in the grocery store. You guys can look for that if you want to help hummingbirds.
That's cool. And if you're doing like feeders for hummingbirds, do not use the dye. The dye is bad. The dyed
like the red
feed. Dye. Yeah, the red dye feed that you can buy from the stores. Don't do that. It's just sugar water, is my understanding of it. You can get pre-bought ones. I'm sure there are some labels out there that say like really safe for hummingbirds. Also, keep them clean. Don't let ants get into them, stuff like that. Hummingbird feeders are great. I've never heard anything bad about them as long as you keep them from getting bacterial or fungal growth in there and use the proper dye. So I used to, as a kid, rehab hummingbirds.
Yeah. Well, not as a kid. I did it at the rehab center.
So
when you rehab a hummingbird, you have to have like a little syringe, and you like stick their little beak in the syringe and you can see their tongue go. It's really interesting.
They recover quick. Most of the time it's just they got like trapped in garages because they go for the red dangly garage pool. They thought it was a flower, and then they would get trapped in the garage.
Sad.
So they would get weak enough they would come to the ground and then rehab them and send them off. So it always worked out pretty well.
Well, be grateful. Quiz.
Sorry, what were we gonna say though?
Be grateful that we're not a hummingbird and we don't have to eat 300 hamburgers a day or die.
That would suck. That'd be expensive.
Yeah.
For sure. Quiz time.
Okay, on the realm of flowers and, Dune, what expensive spice comes from crocus flowers?
Saffron?
That is correct.
Crazy. Good job. Well, I've got another small mammal. It's an American pygmy shrew. So they are found in Canada and the northern U.S. We've got a picture here of them. They are very cute. They're the smallest mammal native to North America. They weigh 2 to 4.5 grams. So that's 2 paper clips to 4.5 paper clips.
Wow, little.
They are 2 inches long or 5 centimeters. Very tiny. We're looking at a picture of a guy holding a dead one, sadly.
It's like half the length of his middle finger.
Very, very
and
small.
like the same width.
Very light. So they only live for about 1.5 years. They can have a litter of 3 to 8 little babies. Very, very tiny. We're looking at a picture of a little hairless baby shrew. I don't think that's a proper technique to hold them.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he likes it.
Yeah, no. The gestation period is just 18 days. And then the parents, or the mom, kicks the kids out after 25 days. They love to dig through soil to find food. They are primarily insectivores. They love worms, insect larvae, and anything else they can really eat. They are hungry all the freaking time. They never stop eating, just like hummingbirds. Relative to their body size, they are the hungriest animal in the world. They have to eat 3 times their body weight every day.
Oh my gosh.
So, for example, I'm 200 pounds. That means I would need 600 pounds of food or 100 large Papa John's pizzas every day.
No.
Which a Papa John's pizza is $16 for a large one, like a pepperoni one. And that would cost me $1,600 a day just to feed me. And that means I would have to eat a Papa John's pizza every 15 to 30 minutes.
Ew.
Which is what they do as well. And they have a weird sleep schedule. They don't really sleep consistently because if they go 1 hour without eating, they die.
Dude.
So they eat a little bit, they sleep for a few minutes.
Guys, shrews and hummingbirds, you guys have to figure that out.
Hummingbirds have them much better. They go into torpor.
Yeah.
But like these shrews,
they don't sleep?
They sleep for a few minutes after they'll scrounge around, they'll find their food, they'll go to sleep like next to it after they eat it for a few minutes, and then they'll wake up and just keep going.
Oh my gosh, that sucks.
Yep. Their brains are just built completely different, and they're actually more active at night as well.
The heck?
What's weird is normally as you go more north, the animals get larger to combat the cold, because when you're as small as 2 freaking grams, you lose heat so fast. But they don't go into hibernation. They don't do any of that. They'll go through the snow in the middle of winter in Canada, finding these insects, these worms, and they have to eat so freaking much because they're losing weight. They're the exception to that rule, that rule that is, I can't remember what it is, but yeah, like the moose get bigger as you go north, like the deer get bigger as you go north. They're the exception to that rule, and scientists are astonished that they can live through the winter.
Yeah,
actually crazy.
Wow. They're cute, by the way, audio listeners. Maybe you know what a shrew is. It just looks like a little mouse with kind of like an elongated nose and really small ears. If I couldn't see the ears. Looks like he doesn't even have them.
Right.
So cute.
They're very cute. They're good at digging, but they don't dig dens like a traditional shrew would. They go into other animals' dens as well. So
crimes.
For my second one, I've got 2 to go over, so it was a little bit shorter.
Okay. I have a polyphemus moth.
Yeah, when you wrote that in the chat, I'm like, this is gonna be cool.
You don't know what that is?
I have no clue.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it is. You'll know when you see it. They're the most widely distributed large silk moths. Like when you think pretty moth, like you're thinking of Polyphemus moth, probably.
I got a sign with. Yep. Oh, okay.
Right.
That's looks like the one that Gandalf talked to when he's on top of the tower in Saruman in the second Lord of the Rings, or the first one. You watch this movie, Gandalf, the Wizard, Lord of the Rings. He's on top of the tower. Saruman like had him trapped, and he
the
like
wizard.
talked. Yeah, the evil wizard. And then trapped Gandalf.
Wait,
the
who
good
is
wizard.
Gandalf?
Gandalf.
Who's Ganondorf?
Ganondorf is another. I can't remember. Someone
Is that
in
a
Lord of the
different
Rings.
thing?
I think it is in Lord of the Rings. I think it's a dwarf.
Ganondorf is not in Lord of the Rings.
I think so. Zelda. Oh. Okay. Yeah, different.
Okay.
So Gandalf talks to this moth and then sends it off and away, and then the big giant eagles come and rescue him.
Dude, I hate having to know so many characters and celebrities and people and names.
Connor,
It's just life.
have you seen the TikToks of that guy who relates anything aircraft related
Yes.
to... That's just what made me think of it.
I gotta start doing that.
Just like this, and you hold up the book and be like, this happened in this.
Yeah, anything. I gotta relate everything now in this podcast back to Lord of the Rings.
No, please. I don't understand. Okay,
Sorry.
audio listeners, we're looking at a Polyphemus moth. It is the cutest freaking thing on the freaking planet. Okay? It's a moth and it has soft, brown, pretty, beautiful wings. And he's got pipe cleaner freaking legs and feathery antenna and these huge eyes. It is like when you think of a cute, fuzzy moth, oh my God.
The antenna look like eyelashes.
Yes, they're
almost.
so cute. They're so cute. So it's the most widely distributed large silk moth. It is the largest moth in North America. 6-inch wingspan.
That's huge.
I know. Okay. 6-inch or like 15-centimeter wingspan. It's a big moth. I saw some of these for the first time in where'd I go? Arizona.
Oh, okay.
In Tucson.
Right.
Is my first time
They're
seeing
very
a Polyphemus moth. Oh my God, they're beautiful. They're so pretty. They're
Wait,
like brown and they have little eye spots and they
Yeah, I
have
was
some
gonna ask about
pinky
the eye
tones.
spots. What's with those?
I think it's a defense or it's like a I don't know if
Like
that's a real
predator?
thing. I didn't actually
I've
look
heard
up
that.
why.
I've heard that before.
Because they do look like eyes.
Like predator eyes, yeah, like cat eyes.
But I don't want to say I've heard that, but I don't want to say it because I didn't actually research if that's true.
Okay.
They are named after Polyphemus, who this is the like one of the last pictures producer, who is a giant cyclops from Greek mythology. He's like the son of Poseidon,
Oh.
and he has one single large round eye in the middle of his forehead.
Okay.
There he is.
He's
But if I'm being honest with you, the next picture of a Polyphemus moth, I don't know why they're named after a cyclops when they very clearly have 2 eye spots.
they look like 4 eye spots.
Okay, 4. Like, seems kind of dumb. Anyway, Polyphemus moth,
One per
amazing.
wing? Maybe?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. We're stretching.
World's hungriest. Why?
Yeah.
How? They obviously go through metamorphosis, okay, like other moths and butterflies. This is what they look like as eggs.
Very cute.
Cute, small, I don't know. Looks like a
Bean.
bean or like a fat button, whatever.
Yeah.
It's an egg. It's what you'd expect. This is the first instar. Instar is like a phase of development of a
Caterpillar.
Polyphemus moth caterpillar.
I've seen a lot of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Describe.
Um.
Me, like, why didn't you tell me when you saw it?
Oh, I see caterpillars all the time.
That one?
Yeah.
I'm pissed.
It's like it has black stripes. It has orange, yellow, white stripes. It has the little thornies that you don't want to touch on the top of it, and like a little red head. It looks like, a traditional caterpillar.
It looks like Beetlejuice if he had pimples that had spikes on him.
Oh, okay.
So that's the first instar, right?
Okay.
Of this caterpillar. This is the 5th instar.
Oh,
What
I've seen a lot of
happened?
those too.
Yeah. What happened to him?
How does he get to that stage?
10 times the size
That is gigantic.
as the first instar.
I thought these were pests.
No. I mean, they munch a lot, but they're not considered agricultural
Right.
pests. Okay, so pause. how did this happen? Audio listeners, we went from like a little stripy, spiky caterpillar to a fat green gummy worm, like different color, different 10 times the size, chunky, squishy. Like we're talking like kid's toy.
It looks like a good meal for a bird.
Okay.
Nice and juicy.
Anyway, they become 10 times the size. For reference, a human baby would have to grow from being baby-sized to 17 feet tall or 5 meters tall in like 2 months.
Jeez.
Human baby from baby-sized to 17 feet tall.
That's insane. You have to sacrifice a lot to grow that fast.
Yes. This caterpillar has a Guinness World Record.
Okay.
The larva of the Polyphemus moth consumes 86,000 times its own birth weight in the first 56 days of life.
Say that one more time.
Consumes 86,000 times,
86,000 times
its own birth weight in the first 56 days of life.
I want to know how many pizzas that is.
I can tell you how many hamburgers it is.
Okay, cool.
Not pizzas. I didn't do that research. A human baby would have to consume 273 tons of nourishment.
Okay.
I personally would have to eat 34,400,000 hamburgers in the next 2 months, and I would have to grow to be 50 feet tall.
That's
50
crazy.
feet or 15 meters. So in the next 2 months, 34.5 million hamburgers, and I would have to become 50 feet tall.
You would have to be so efficient at eating hamburgers.
I mean, obviously I would die, but like, oh my God.
Like,
what on earth is going on here?
Conveyor belt, no time to chew, just go straight into your mouth, like 60 a minute, probably. I don't even know the math, but like.
I don't know the math either. That's
would just
gross.
be
I don't
insane.
want to know the math.
Yeah.
Producer, can you, how hard is that math? 34,400,000 hamburgers in 2 months. That's not hard math.
He can figure out. He's a math guy. But like the amount of poops that you would have to do.
57,000 what? A month?
What's that would be a day?
What's that a day? 57,000 hamburgers a month. Wait.
57.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that can't be a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
57,000 a day. Well, can I ask how many minutes? How many would you need to eat a minute? I'm so sorry to keep asking math questions.
How many minutes in a day?
But you would poop so freaking much all the time. You would just be like, as it's coming in, poop is going out. It has to.
57,000 hamburgers a day for 2 months.
400 a minute.
400 hamburgers a minute for the next 2 months.
That's insane.
That is insane.
You can't chew.
No.
Okay, that is a world
record.
record.
You die in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. 6 a second.
6 per second. It's so messed up.
That's crazy.
6 hamburgers a second for the next 2 months. I should have gotten all the way there. That's a way better stat. I would have to eat 6 hamburgers per second for the next 2 months straight. No breaks, no sleeping.
Like, I couldn't even... Like, you'd have to put 3 every time.
Insane.
In each hand, yeah.
Insane. They're insane. They eat a lot of leaves, but they eat mostly like walnut, hickory, maple, oak, persimmon, and like willow, other trees, tall trees.
Right.
But not agriculture. They're not an agricultural pest. They're not
cool.
considered an agricultural pest.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a hungry caterpillar.
That's insane. That's very hungry.
Yeah.
Isn't there a book called Hungry Caterpillar?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's actually, this is very controversial. I didn't even put this in my research, so I'm sorry to everyone out there that this pisses off. Some people think that Hungry Caterpillar is based off of a Polyphemus moth larva.
Drama.
A lot of people don't think that.
Okay. I didn't know there was this much drama about a really old book.
I'm going to be honest. I lost a lot of valuable research time.
Oh, to this drama.
To going into the drama. And then at the end, I was just like, I don't care anymore. Like, it's a children's book. It might have not even been based on anything. I don't care.
Right.
So, sorry for bringing that up.
No. Dang. Well, yeah, it's a lot of hamburgers. I equated everything to pizzas.
Okay.
I've got a few more pizza stats here.
All right.
But first, I want to talk about the black-footed cat.
Okay.
They're very, very cute.
Cute. Just looks like a house cat, right?
kinda a cuter version of a house cat. They live in South Africa. Please describe how freaking cute they look.
It does look like a house cat, like the shape of it.
Yeah.
It's got like a fatter head sort of, but the shape, it just look like if I saw this in someone's house, I'd be like, that's a cool looking cat. But
Right.
I'd just think it was a cat. But it has kind of like leopard print.
Yeah. And they're a little bit smaller than your average house cat. But they're listed as vulnerable.
Oh.
Because, you know, pet trade, disease is going rampant. Look how cute this kitten is.
Is that really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That is the cutest little kitten. And of course, people see these cute kittens like, I want one.
No.
And pet trade. So don't.
Not for you.
Rescue feral cats.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're vulnerable. They're habitat loss. And they need to eat a lot. And they love to hunt. And with habitat loss, with pesticides, with rodenticides being more widespread down in South Africa, they are dying from secondary poisoning. Sad. But when they're left alone without human intervention, they love to hunt and eat. They average 10 to 14 kills a night. That is an average of 1 kill every 50 minutes.
Wow.
They are savages. Absolute savages. They will eat anything that is small and moves, and sometimes big they'll go after. We're looking at a picture of one of these cats taking down some sort of grouse, maybe some bird that's like about its size. And they have high metabolism, so they eat every part of it that
I was
they
gonna
possibly
ask
can.
that because domestic cats are really bad about just killing to kill and then
Yep.
not eating it. So I was gonna say, do they do that?
They eat almost everything they possibly can. If they're catching bigger things, they won't eat the bones.
Wow.
But they have to eat it all because they have such high metabolisms that they've just got to, that's why they have to eat so much, you know, 1 kill every freaking 50 minutes. And they walk 20 miles a night for food. That's the farthest recorded for any small cat.
That's a lot of miles.
It's so many miles. And it's generally like in a squared off area, and they have their patterns that they go in their routes.
Yeah.
So that they find insects, reptiles, lizards, you know, all those things.
Wow.
So they eat about 1/6 of their body weight every single day. So if you want to compare that to me, that would be, I would need to eat 5.5 pizzas a night, which would cost me $90 a night. So they're just going around eating, munching on anything that they can possibly find. And so their preferred food source, oh my gosh, so cute. He's got 1 foot up. We're looking at a picture. He's got 1 foot up. Ready
He's
to
hunting.
pounce. They love gerbil mice. That's like their go-to food source. And other rodents as well. And they often get rodenticides and whatnot. So like, where's the most rodents? Around people.
Right.
So, and then they get poisoned and then they die.
Sad.
It's very sad. So no rodenticides. Yeah, very cute. You don't need them as pets at all. So some other notable facts about some very hungry animals, because there's a lot of hungry animals out there. So I want to talk about vultures, because they're hungry, but they're hungry in a different kind of way. They're an efficient type of hunger. They will clean a carcass down to the bone in hours if it's just a few of them. And if it's like hundreds of vultures, they can clean a carcass in minutes, down to the very bone. And they'll have some specialized vultures that'll come in and eat those bones, but they can metabolize almost, it's like 98% of the food they eat just is converted to pure energy fat storage into their body. And they are so efficient with their use of food that they can go 17 days between feedings. So
I didn't know that either. That's crazy for a bird of prey.
Yeah, insane. So they are just really specialized about being hungry in that moment.
Heck yeah.
And eating everything they possibly can and having huge crops that can store food up to like days as well, depending on how much they eat. And then they just go sit on, hopefully not power lines. Hopefully they sit up in trees and chill for 17 days till their next meal.
That's awesome. Shout out vultures.
Vultures are great. Also, they can eat carcasses that have anthrax, botulism, rabies, all those nasty things, except for like lead and toxic human waste. They can eat all that without any issues. So we need vultures. Up next is a tiger. I knew tigers ate a lot of meat.
I almost did tiger.
Because I was like, the meme, I always saw the meme like Tiger King about like not being able to feed his tigers enough and stuff like that. I was like, man, they can't eat that much. You're talking about 100 pounds or 45 grams of meat in one feeding.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is every day. I think every other day, maybe.
I think it's less than that. I haven't done the research.
Okay, out in the wild is 100 pounds up to like in the feeding.
Sure.
I didn't look for captivity, how much they have to feed, but that's a lot, even if that's every 3 days.
Yeah, my understanding with tigers, or my very limited understanding, was that like because they eat infrequently, when they do eat, they like gorge themselves. Like they eat an insane amount of food. And
they sleep a lot, so like they don't have a huge energy requirement, but they do 70% of their diet is meat. Which I didn't know that either.
What do you mean 70%?
Just 70. It's not fully.
What? What do they eat?
I guess fruits, vegetables, stuff like that.
Do they?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yep. Interesting. The other thing I was thinking about like, man, what would be like the worst poop to pick up? And elephant. I would think it'd be elephant poop.
No.
No?
No, they're herbivores. That's so chill. It's just like a lot of it.
Yeah, you need a bobcat or skid steer.
Yeah, but I would rather pick up elephant poop than like
carnivore poop.
Tiger, or like lion, because carnivore poop smells bad. As a former zookeeper, pass.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking like, because elephants, they eat 350 pounds or 150 kilograms of varied foliage every day.
Yeah, that's a lot of poop.
So that means I would need to eat 58 pizzas a day or $930 worth of pizza every day.
I like that you did the price math.
I was thinking about it because this economy is just getting crazy. You know, food prices are going up. I couldn't do it. So it's just an insane amount. I mean, Amanda at Alveus talks about picking up rhino poop with a skid steer and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's an all day task for one person. And you need a big machine to do it. I'm like, it's...
The disposal of that must be crazy too.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that.
They try to compost it. So that's also expensive. Because we've looked into composting our manure at Alveus. It's expensive. So last up, the one that poops, like eats the most in the world, is a blue whale.
Okay.
So they eat 16 tons or 14,500 kilograms of krill every day. Every freaking day. So
it's crazy that whales eat krill. Like, it's such a small...
It's crazy that there's enough krill out there to do that, because there's a lot of blue whales. There needs to be more, but this is a diagram of how they eat. They are able to see or sense krill pockets off while they're swimming, and they're able to engulf a huge amount by sucking it in and then filtering out all the water and just eating the krill. So if I were to eat as much as a blue whale, I would need 5,333 pizzas a day, or I'd have to spend $85,333 a day at Papa John's.
85 grand.
85 grand
a day.
Yep. To eat like a blue whale.
Sure.
And Papa John pizza.
Not proportionally, just like literally.
Literally. Well,
proportionally?
Yeah, proportionally. Like for me, like to eat.
Oh my God.
No, it's like if I eat like a blue whale, actually. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, not proportionally. I didn't do proportions.
Whale poop is super important, by the way. I learned about this a couple years ago, but the idea of the whale pump, have you heard of that? So whales will feed like at depth, right, in the ocean, and then they'll come back up to the surface to breathe. And when they come up to the surface to breathe, they do a huge poop. But their poop has a bunch of nutrients that phytoplankton need to survive. So they provide all this food in the form of poopy to phytoplankton, and then phytoplankton will eat the poopy and then photosynthesize. Phytoplankton absorb nearly a third of human-generated carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through photosynthesis. They're like insanely important for us. And then the phytoplankton provide every other breath that you take. Our oceans provide every other breath that you take, but more specifically, phytoplankton provides every other breath that we take.
That's a cool stat.
Yeah, because of the oxygen that they're emitting. And then the whale pump process creates a thriving ocean habitat. So then they go back down and they feed, and then they come up to the surface and they poop.
Nice.
And it goes in a cycle.
That's cool.
Shout out to whales. Shout out to whale poop for being every other breath that we take.
Man, we need to get whales back. Like, we got to protect them to help
whales are really
climate change. That's a cool way to go about it. All right, let's stop whaling.
Guys, you just breathed. Thank a whale.
That is a really
Take
cool
a whale's
statue.
butt. Now.
Cool.
Cool. Well, is that all you got?
Yep.
That is our world's hungriest for the week. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys go check us out on Patreon. And let us know what other topics you would like to hear about. Let us know what you're thinking about the podcast so far. We'll see you on the next episode.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.